Hi there, and welcome to Stage Savvy Speakers. My name's April, and I'm a speaking and storytelling coach helping you leverage your personal experiences so you can take your message to any audience and deliver it with confidence and grace. Welcome to 2025. It is still early in the year, and now is a great time to start setting goals that will push you towards those things that you want to reach. Start setting those goals, speaking on stage, sharing your story, being authentic in who you are, and using those opportunities to reach the goals that you have set for yourself. So today, I want to talk to you about ways that you can do that with speaking. Now, whether you're speaking on a large stage, a small stage, or even just face to camera like I am right now, it's all the same principle. I am still speaking to you as an audience. This is my stage, but I could just as easily be live on a stage with a microphone in my hand. And the principles are still the same. So today I just want to share with you some of the things that you can do to start setting those goals and reaching those goals and using speaking and sharing your message to do it. So here we go. All right. The start of a new year or early in a year or even the beginning of a month is a great time to set goals, review your goals, see if you are on track to reach those goals that you have for yourself. And sometimes we feel stuck, especially if we own a business and we're trying to grow that business, we're trying to reach an audience and we're not sure how to do it. One of the ways that we can do that is to step on a stage. Again, a virtual stage, a real stage, a big stage, a small stage, doesn't matter. To step on a stage and share our personal stories, those things that we go through that forge us into who we are. Now, if the idea of diving into your past and your stories feels really scary to you, you're not alone. Don't worry. We all get scared and nervous when we think about sharing those things that we've gone through. So you're not alone in that regard. And you don't have to go in and share every aspect of your life. You don't have to air all of the proverbial dirty laundry, if you will. But I encourage you to look back on your experiences and just see what you've gone through that maybe you learned something from. Maybe there's a little bit of wisdom in there that you could share or that you could use to attract the right people to you. You can reach the right audience that you want to reach so that you can grow that business and you can reach those goals. Okay, the first thing that I want you to think about when you decide to include speaking in your plans for growth is to visualize the future. What will it look like when you reach those goals? What will it feel like when you are on that stage? Again, is it a virtual stage? Is it face-to-camera videos going live in your Facebook groups or streaming live on YouTube? Or are you doing a webinar? Or are you getting on a stage with a microphone in your hand and sharing your message with a large or small crowd? Whatever that may be, I need you to imagine what that feels like, what it looks like, what it smells like, all of the things. Engage your senses and really see what that feels like for you. I also want you to say out loud whatever that vision is. Now, here are some examples. You could say, I want to deliver a keynote address by December 31st, 2025. It's a great one. Or you could say something like, I will share my personal stories on 3 podcasts in 2025. Those are specific, and it gives you the chance to really lean in and visualize what it will look like, feel like, sound like, and smell like when you do those things. All right, let's move on to the next one. I want you to start small, of course, but think big, right? We dream big, but we have to start with baby steps. So I first want you to imagine the grandest stage that you desire speaking from. Is that a TED stage? Is that opening a keynote for a convention or perhaps an annual event for an association that you belong to? Or is that simply just getting up in front of your local networking group? Because even that can be really, really scary. So think about whatever that big dream, that big goal is, but then start small. Start by going to networking and just introducing yourself to 3 or 4 people. Start by hopping up on stage or in the middle of that networking event and taking 60 seconds to talk about who you are and your business or something that you've experienced in your life. Go to an informal networking type of an event, like a coffee chat or a lunch get together, and start talking to people and see where you can find opportunities to build your confidence, get familiar and comfortable with your own voice and those stories that you can share. So, a short term goal, starting small, could be something like join a speaking group or register for a webinar or take a master class or reach out and book a free call with someone like me who coaches people in the art of telling their stories. A medium term goal, something that's a few months out, but that you're reaching for through those small steps, could be to commit to one speaking engagement 5 or 6 months down the road. And you have to do the work for that now. You have to start applying and looking for places to speak, but they are out there. And then that long-term goal really can be whatever that big stage is that you want it to be. And again, it could just be overcoming your fear of taking a microphone at a networking event, getting up there and sharing who you are. Okay, so that is start small, but think big. All right, let's move on to the next tip that I have for you today. I want you to embrace your story, embrace who you are, embrace where you've been. This is so hard for some of us. We feel like we need to hide those things about our past from the world because people will judge us, when most of the time, those are the things that will get people to connect with us and relate to us. So I want you to not shy away from those things you've experienced. I want you to embrace them and bring them into the fold and use them to your advantage. Now, these can be all kinds of things. And depending on what you've experienced and where you are in your life, you may not be comfortable sharing a lot of details, and that's okay. Start small. Again, we're starting small. What is one thing that you could share? I personally can share that I grew up in a single parent household in a very religious area. That was something that was a little rougher as a child. I have experienced having a loved one who had an addiction and is still in recovery from that addiction. And I've experienced being a single parent for a while. There are all these little things. And I know that each of you has those kinds of things that you can share as well. And it doesn't have to be hard things. It can be amazing things. It can be amazing things as well. So here is a little way that you can start digging into what those things are. Set a goal to write a 5-minute story for yourself and start simple. Say, what is one thing I've gone through? What did I learn from that? And what can I share with others from that experience that would be helpful for them? And then sit down and just quickly write it down. 5 minutes goes by in a hurry. We've already been on this video for 8 minutes. So 5 minutes goes very quickly. And see what you can come up with, and then frame that into a short little narrative that you can share. Now, what's a narrative? Simply put, a narrative is a story. Share that with a trusted mentor or a close friend or family member who you can practice on sharing that story. All right, let's move on to the next one. I want you to remember to set measurable and achievable goals. Now, we've all heard this 100 times, or maybe more. You need to set SMART goals. Our goals need to be specific, measurable, achievable, and time-bound, right? They need to be reachable, and we need to have a time limit on them. So again, we go back to what we said before. I want to give a keynote address by December 31st, 2025. Now, what is the difference between saying the date specifically or just saying the end of the year? Well, a lot. Specificity. A hard deadline is December 31st. You say by the end of the year, the end of the year could be really any time in December, and that's fluid. And we don't want that. We want a deadline. If you're going to set this goal, set it with a deadline. Now, that doesn't mean the deadline can't be changed, but we're aiming for that target. So I want you to start thinking about what goals can you set that are specific, they're measurable, achievable, they're reachable, and you can put a time limit on them so that you can start moving forward. If you desire to be more confident as a speaker or to be a bigger, better speaker, speaking is different for all of us. Some of us have zero desire to be on stage, and some of us want nothing more than to be on stage with a microphone in our hand, and then everywhere in between. And I'm here to help you with wherever you are on that scale. All right. The last thing I want you to remember is to celebrate your progress. This is not about perfection. Speaking is not about perfection. Let me give you a little insight here. When I record these videos for YouTube, I don't edit them. I just let them be as they are because I want you to be comfortable not being perfect. And what better way for me to help you do that than to not edit these videos if I forget what I'm saying or if a weird sound comes on in the background. Just let it be as it is. You are human and you're allowed to be human. So your next step is to celebrate your progress. Don't aim for perfection. Reach for the stars and reach your goals. All right, next steps, book a free call with me. I'll drop that link down below for you, and I will see you next time.